So I'm back. I took like a week off. My kids were a little under the weather. I kind of caught what they had, so I didn't want to eat big quantities of stuff. So I'm kind of like a bland foods diet, but I am sick of that now. But at the same time, I'm kind of like on a health kick at the moment, so I tried to go with some foods today for like a mid-morning brunchy kind of soba. Love soba. Soba mukbang, bing 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 a ding dong dong dong. And we are going to eat today. I don't have my headphones in. I'm trying a new setup. Excuse me. Just some sparkling water and lemon. So we're gonna see how the sound is without my headphones today. So what I've got at the moment are some soba noodles that are cold, and then I've got some, hang on, let me see if I can you see that? Some soba dipping sauce, which I made with, sorry guys, with like a homemade vegan dashi stock and a little bit of soy and vinegar and sesame oil. And then I've got some air fried tofu that I've topped with some like seaweed seasoning, sesame seeds, and togarashi, so that's nice and crispy. And then I've got these wasabi snacks to just sort of munch on. I thought they'd be a really nice like palate cleanser in between bites of the soba. So let's see how this is. I'm just going to dip it right in this. I love soba. So nutty and chewy, and it's really high in protein. I think it's got something like 11 grams of protein per 100 grams of the noodles. So if you're looking for like a high protein, and you can get gluten-free ones, but the buckwheat is supposed to be, you know, much better for you. So I thought a little bit of a healthy kick. Dropped a couple noodles in. That is really good. So please guys, comment below on what you think of the sound, if you like it better with the up close eating sounds when I use my headphones with the mic, or if you prefer it to be just the microphone from the camera that I'm using, so it's a little further away. I'm going to try one of these crispy tofu. Look at that, with the seasoning on it, a little bit spicy. And then I just drizzled some soy sauce over that as well. I'm going to mix it up so we get like the soy sauce from the bottom all to coat that. There you go. That one's nice and coated now. So I've gone for like the high protein kind of meal here. I wouldn't say I'm on a diet. You can feel when your diet, and when I say diet, I mean just like what people eat, hasn't been great for a while. So I'm just kind of trying to, I don't know, treat my body a little better. The sauce is really good, and the dipping sauce, it's kind of like a soup. So how I make my vegan dashi broth is I basically just get a jar like this, but not the drinking kind with a hole in the lid, like a normal mason jar, or you can reuse a jar like a pasta sauce jar. And I use dried shiitake mushrooms and seaweed. I used wakame seaweed, but you can use kombu if you can find it. My local little supermarket where I get my Asian stuff didn't have it this time when I went, so I just use the wakame seaweed, and then I just fill it up with boiling water from the kettle, whack the lid on, and let it sit, and then that'll keep in the fridge as well. And anytime I want to make like miso soup or soba, I've always got that dashi stock, which is such an ubiquitous part of Japanese cuisine, but you can also use it as a stock base if I'm going to be making like a hot pot or something, and then you can add the flavoring to that. So it's just a really easy, quick thing to have on hand. But those dried shiitake mushrooms, you guys, they take stuff to the next level. Even if you don't like mushrooms, like, it's not exactly a mushroom flavor, it's an umami flavor. Try another bite of this. Get it really dipped down in there. Ooh. And now I'm just going to have one of these little wasabi peanuts. They're all crispy and crunchy and yummy. These are from Lidl, or Lidl. I found out that Lidl is the correct way to pronounce it. So if you shop at Lidl, or if you know, how do you pronounce it? Like, I know people tend to pronounce Aldi or Aldi differently. So tell me how you pronounce it. But these are really good. They're one of my favorite snacks to get there. So yummy. I would love to find somewhere to try fresh soba for the first time. I always rinse mine. I got a little bit of mess and I've not got a towel. I always like to rinse it instantly, plunge it into like ice water, or rinse it under super cold tap water as soon as it's done cooking, because that tends to give the noodles more spring and more of a chewy mouthfeel, and you just don't want soggy soba. Nobody wants soggy soba. It's a really nice textural meal, this. So you got like the chewiness from the fried tofu, which is healthy, by the way, because I made it in my air fryer. And you got the chewiness of the noodles, and then you've got the crunch. So I know some people put wasabi in their soba, or have wasabi with their soba, so sort of waken up the palate so you don't get tired of it being the same note. So that's why I decided to have little wasabi peanuts as a snack to go with this instead. Come here. I got a lot of sesame in that bite. I've been really into sesame seeds lately. I like to listen to like what your body's craving. Generally tells you what nutrients you need. And I forget what sesame seeds have. They're quite high in something. I'll post it if I remember. It's kind of a cloudy day today. I'm wondering what to cook, what to make for dinner. I was on a real like pasta kick yesterday. We had vegan meatball subs for lunch, and then I made homemade gnocchi, and I made some pesto yesterday, so we had like a pesto cream sauce with that for dinner. I'm not sure what to make today. I think today calls for a pie. I totally dripped on my chin there. Like a savory pie. I'm really digging the texture of this tofu today. It's just really, really yummy. And I made this with cauldron tofu, which was already firm. And I usually tend to buy, when I get my tofu from like an Asian supermarket, I tend to go with like a silken tofu, but I got some firm because I really like how chewy it gets when I air fry it. I'm making a mess. So guys, this channel is brand new, obviously. This is only the second video, but I've decided that once it gets to 50 subscribers, I'm going to take the fire noodle challenge. I'm terrified, but I'm gonna do it. I don't like spicy food, but like, how bad is it? I'm curious. So I've got one tub of the fire noodles in my noodle cupboard because I have an entire cupboard of noodles, and I'll do it when we get to 50 subscribers. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button and the like button. That's the soba done. I'm gonna finish up this tofu though. Yum. Move that out the way. Can you see where I've like splattered all over? Oops. What I should have done is waited till I finished the tofu and then dipped some of the soba in this sauce that's left over. Next time, that's what I'll do. And one more crunchy for good measure. Oh, lots of wasabi! Ah! Thanks for hanging out with me for this mid-morning mukbang. Hope you guys have a fabulous Tuesday. Bye-bye.